Diarrhea full of shit, spelling himself and I, no one else here, I'm so legit. So I got the job. I reached out to him. I texted him. Kept it short and sweet. Said, dude, it's me. Sorry to pest you. Just checking in with you. I felt the interview. What did I say? I felt the interview went good. I think I'd make a good hand and team player. Hope to hear from you soon. So just, poking the bear a little bit, rattling the cage, just letting them know, hey, Now, they're not going to put me in a loader right away, which I kind of suspected that they wouldn't, because like I said, I had brought that up. Actually, I don't know if I said that. And like I said, when I said that, his face lit up, and both of them were like, it's good, that you're willing to do that. And he said, a lot of our guys on the ground, that's their job officially, but then sometimes they're in equipment. And vice versa, the guys who are in equipment are sometimes on the ground. And I said I would like to just eventually be, like that would be my main position as equipment operator. They understand that. But it is what it is. And like I said, the equipment operators, run all different types of equipment. Now, I wish I would have said this, but one of the things the benefits of being an operator, I'm going to be operating I don't want to say what it is. I kind of want to keep things on a down low. It's a little bit different type of equipment than what was over at the other plant. And they had the one, piece of equipment was this piece of equipment, and then they had one that was similar, just a little bit bigger, and then over on the other side there was that piece of equipment that I was, running the hopper, keep it full. So it's going to be, similar. It's going to be, I'm assuming there's going to be a loader that's going to need to keep that full, and there's going to be a guy who just runs that, monitors it, shuts it off, if there's not material being put into it, because generally running stuff like that dry is hard on it. You can get away with it for a little bit, but if there's no material in it, you need to shut it off. So there needs to be a guy physically there pushing buttons and turning dials and shit like that. And one of the benefits of that is you get to watch all the other equipment and learn the layout of the site. What this equipment does, what that equipment does, what's going on over here, what's going on over there. When trucks come in, where do they go? Where do they get loaded? Where do they go for different material? And then they all go that way to the scale. And I wish I would have mentioned that, but I guess it just would have been a nice thing to, because it's the truth. You get to watch shit. So when you're in the loader, it's like, okay, yeah, you do this. And I actually forgot to mention this. Well, I didn't mention it because I was kind of going, based on like I was going to be in a equipment position, which eventually I will be. And like I said, this is going to be kind of like the job I have now, only amped up, like in every way. Pay, equipment positions, quote unquote laborer positions, equipment operator positions, like I said, like the mixers, crushers, screens, etc. But the guys on the ground and the guys who operate the machines, which is what I'm going to quote unquote start as, make more money than the loaders. And that's right. Because the work's harder. Because like I said, the guy, because he started out, like the guy who started the company 20 years ago, he went to work for him, and as he got promoted through the ranks and whatnot, he basically asked the owner, suggested, he proposed that he wanted to pay the laborers, the guys on the ground, be it, with a shovel or standing, in a booth pushing buttons and turning dials. He wanted to pay them more. And the guy was cool with it. So you're probably thinking, so you want to be an equipment operator and they make less money? Yeah. But the work's a little easier. You're in an air-conditioned cab. I might look out and be sitting in like a little air-conditioned booth, but not going to count on it. But it sounds like, that's what I'm starting as. So I don't know how much more money they make. Probably not a terrible amount more. And like I said, you get raises and stuff based on, performance. You don't just get a raise, based on time. It's like, well, as long as you don't fuck up, you've been here so long, boom, you get a raise. You get evaluated, right? Because, they gave an example. They're like, we did an evaluation, last week, and the guy didn't get a raise. So it's based on just, how efficient you are, how like proactive you are. Do you voice your opinion? Hey boss, I was just thinking, this, that, and the other. So you need to raise your hand. Now this is me talking. They didn't say this, but this is just me, talking. You need to closed mouths don't get fed. So you need to make sure and raise your hand and voice your opinion. And even if it's something simple, just like, hey, I just noticed, or even just like a comment, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a suggestion, because who the fuck am I? I'm the new guy, right? I'm the new guy to this company and to this industry. So what the hell am I going to bring to the table? But I just need to make sure and pipe up every now and then, just idle chit-chat, Hey, I noticed the other day this, that's cool. Yeah, that's a good, whatever, just make sure your voice is heard. Make sure you don't disappear into the shadows. That's it. And then when it comes up evaluation, they know your name, they know your face, they know your voice, they know your ideas, they know how you think, they know what position you have on the site. Just make sure you're not the quiet guy in the corner. So I guess that's all I got to say. Bebe, hey, hey. So I'm actually glad that it worked out that way. It would have been cool to say, yeah, they're going to have me in this big fucking hunkin', big ass loader, man. Eventually they'll have me in that and all kinds of other shit. But for now, I'll be over here, on this machine, doing this shit, watching, observing, learning. And basically it's exactly like the company that I'm working for now, only amped up times 4, if not 8. So, fucking kick ass, man. Like I said, things just seem to work out for me quite a bit. And I do not forget that. I am not, I am aware of that. What that means, I don't know. Is it manifesting? Because I don't manifest. It's just like, what's his name, Mr. Gorilla said, There's people who have like really positive attitudes and bad shit happens to them all the time. There's people with negative ass attitudes who, do a really good job and kick ass and take names. Bad things happen to good people and vice versa, I mean, yes, I do believe that karma is something that you need to, watch. But, don't like count on it, or anything. Like it's like I've said, like the whole, what the hell, like people projecting, like people who are mean, they're just mean because they're unhappy and they're trying to bring other people down. No. They're mean because they're mean. They probably have great lives. They laugh, they buddy it up, with their friends in the evenings and weekends. They're not fucking assholes because they're secretly unhappy, misery loves company. Fuck no. You know, what goes around comes around. No, that bully isn't going to get his. You need to stand up for yourself. So, but, you know, it happened again. Like I said, I'm going to come down with cancer. Something bad's going to happen because, you know, I got a good life. I do. And like I said, I consider myself a Christian, just a bad one. I've started kind of mildly talking to God, you know, like I said, just, you know, hey, this is what the deal is. I'll talk to him again today. Say, I don't know if, I do not know, you know, how to do this. I don't know how to be a good Christian. I don't know how to have good and strong faith. And I've said that before. You know, I said it the other day, you know, it's like, that's why I don't ask for wisdom or strength or guidance, because I know I'm just going to do my own fucking thing anyway. So but, well, I guess it's just like that fortune cookies. Oh, shit. But, oh, I don't know. I just, like I said, you know, what is reality anyway? And all the shit that I've experienced, and, you know, the supernatural shit, and, well, you know, manifesting, sorta, whatever, you know, talking about stuff, and then I'd see it, you know, later, the fucking DeLorean, you know, it's like 2 of them, you know, and, you know, psychic episodes and stuff. You know, shit, watching that movie and then seeing the airplane, you know, the B-25 Mitchell. That has happened a lot. A lot. You know, like that one, those trucks, you know, from the movie Duel. Over the next 3 months, I saw like 8 of those fuckers. You know, the ME-262 Messerschmitt, you know. This was a long time ago, like 10 years ago. I was talking about it. I saw it in fucking Utah, parked on the tarmac. You know, this sort of shit happens a lot. You know, and like I said, I got that DUI. You know, I'm all ready to rip, roar, and fucking hit the streets. Second job I applied for. Now, you know, oh, boom. Okay, well, this job, you know, applied for it first. They were like, you know, haul it back. And now I'm ready to haul it back. I got a job with them now, you know, so is life supposed to be this easy? Because I really don't think it is for a lot of people, for most people. So I feel like shit, man. You know, what's going to happen? You know, am I going to, you know, it's like I need to watch my ass, you know what I mean? It's like, don't get in a fight, you know, out in public or anything, you know what I mean? Just keep her cool, you know, what bad thing is going to fucking destroy everything? You know? And I actually, you know, like I said, I say out loud. I used to say it back before, when I was driving for Walmart. Save money, live better. This is kind of cheesy, but I used to say, you know, because I'd be gone for 5 or 6 days at a time. I'd say, goodbye, house. Hopefully I return as life as I know it in the same condition that it is now. And I don't say it out loud, but I have it written, you know, on the calendar next to my bedroom door. So when I walk out my bedroom door, I have a reminder. And it just says, you are about to face the day. And I read that. And that's just a general statement. You're going to have to deal with people. People may piss you off. You know, I'm leaving my safe space. And I am going to deal with people. You know. And I'm out here, you know, in free society as a free boy. You know, life is full of choices. You know, like people who are sitting in prison and stuff, they didn't wake up that morning and say, I'm going to do something today that's going to land me in prison for 2 years, 10 years, whatever. So, an attitude of gratitude, oh, I got one. But I also need to maintain an attitude of caution and, what's the word I'm looking for? Persistence? I just need to protect my way of life. That's all. That's all. So, some employee starts getting on my ass. Just stay cool, man. Oh, really? Well, that's how you feel, and that's easy to do for me, because I'm old and shit, and I know how to deal with shit like that. Like you genuinely do not piss me off. I know all the tactics. So. And I'm not going to let you, I'm not going to be a pushover or anything, but I'm not going to take the bait. And a lot of people, people try and get you to take the bait. Or, if they know they're in like a position, somebody who's been there 20 years and is friends with the boss, they know that they got you, and they're gonna test you. No problem. I got you right back. And that's just, that's a skill that I've kind of always had, and I've developed it and honed it over the years. And, I can offer some snark back. It's not just, okay. Well, I guess if that's the way you feel, I can, hold my ground and kind of send some shit back over the fence, life is full of choices. Life is full of people. People have opinions, thoughts, and emotions. Situations can come up. Maybe it's a situation you've encountered before. Maybe it's one you never have. I have to go through life as me, with my abilities and understanding of the world, and how I fit in this world, and how I interact with people and the world, and how the world and people interact with me. So every day is like I hesitate to say a little mini battle, but every day is an opportunity for something to go wrong. Sunshine and rainbows. A pessimist is what an optimist calls a realist. Fuck your optimism. I like that. I'm going to write that down every day before I leave the house. Every day is an opportunity for something to go wrong. Come here, boo. Give me a kiss. How come you're so negative? I'm not fucking negative. Am I a negative guy? I gotta go deal with these pieces of shit. Anybody, not necessarily the people I would just. I have to go deal with human beings. And stuff is going to come up. And I am going to experience it, and I deal with it in a certain way. Every day is an opportunity for something to go wrong. If something goes good, well, so what? It's like there's nothing gained. It was good, great, awesome. You won, so what? But when things go wrong, that sucks. That stings. That tends to change things. If things go good, nothing changes. Hunky-dory, happy day. If things go wrong, now you have to fix that. You have to play catch up now. Yeah! Have a good day. I like that. I'm going to write that down before I forget. One more time for the cheap seats. For my fellow haters out there who hate everything, every day is an opportunity for something to go wrong. Yeah, it's funny because you think it's going to be positive, right? It's like that line in Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. When we put our heads together, we really, and John Candy's thinking he's going to say something positive, but instead he's always, we've really gotten nowhere. We should probably split up, so, yeah. I'm going to go write that down right now. Yes. opportunity for something to go wrong. Like a minute. What the fuck you talking about?